Hello, my name is Charles Blevins. Today I'm going to explain to you how I meditate to go into a clairvoyant state. So the first thing I do is I get into an Indian sitting position. For me, this is a comfortable position where I can lean my arms here, I can lean forward. Normally what I will do is I will have a pillow under my rear to lift me up a little bit. And I find that to be the most comfortable position because then my legs are equal with my rear and helps give me excellent support on my body. So this way I'm kind of leaning at a flat position and that gives me stability. I normally, what I'll tell you to do is find the dog pillows, the most cheapest and comfortable because they're big. So if you get an extra large dog pillow, you can find them for $10-15 normally. I think the last one I got was like $10 at Rose's, and that has worked excellent because it supports all my body weight and it gives me some cushion to sit on. So once I get into that position that I want to, I normally will put my hands together in this position. You can put your hands in any which position you want. You can sit down, you can lay down, anything that makes you feel comfortable. The biggest issue that I find is depending on what position you're in, your body is temporarily supported, but as you go into a relaxing state, your body leans more like if I'm laying in the chair, I don't have a proper resting position for my head because my head will move inside of, in like a recliner or a chair, and it wants to find its own resting position, and my neck will end up with a kink in it. So what I found was laying down on a bed, same thing. It's always about the neck gets a kink in it because I'm trying to lay in a position for too long, or sitting in a chair, it always comes down to I don't have proper back support. But when you sit in the Indian position, what happens is you use your hands and you let them rest on your knees in between like the little folds right in here, and it gives your upper body support. Now as you get more into it, your head will just come forward naturally and just lay there in a relaxed state. It's loose enough that it's still comfortable, but there's no pressure on your neck. Next thing we want to talk about is mindset. Before I normally sit down to do a meditation, I want to be in the right mindset. I don't want to go into a meditation after fighting with the kids or your spouse, after you had a lot of noise, watching a horror movie or thriller. I want to be in a decent emotional state before I start my meditation in this position. The reason being is I don't want to meditate and have my judgment clouded with anger or with fear or other little boogie monsters that my imagination can create. And I want it to be in a very peaceful state, so this way it's balanced. So before I get into this position, I will make sure that I'm in a peaceful state first. Then I'll sit down and I'll get into my position that I want to be in that's comfortable for me, and then I'll begin my meditation. Now the next step that I'll do is when I meditate, I'll close my eyes, but I'll let my eyeballs, I'll let them roll towards the top of my head. The reason why I let the eyeballs roll towards the top of the head, it puts more pressure here on the pineal gland, and that opens this up much more heavier. Now when I'm here in this position with my eyes closed, my eyes are rolled towards the top, I'll just start to relax. I let my mind wander. The reason why I'm letting my mind wander is because I'm not trying to force anything. I don't want to force my meditation. I don't want to force what I'm thinking about. I just let my mind go. The point is to let everything go. So I let my mind go, I let my body go. I don't want to have muscle control over anything. I just want everything to be relaxed and comfortable. The only thing now that I'm going to do is I'm going to focus in on my breathing. And I'm just going to reconfirm to myself to relax. And as I'm taking in breaths, I'm just going to watch my breathing. And that's the only thing I'm going to watch. I'm not going to control my breathing. I'm just going to watch my breathing. I give all my attention towards my breathing. I don't want to pay attention towards what my body is doing. I don't want to pay attention to what's going on around me in the room. So if you have a fan going, I don't want to pay attention to that. I don't want to pay attention to any noises that are going on in my surroundings. I just want to pay attention to my breathing. The reason why I'm just paying attention to the breathing is because you need to give the mind some type of attention to place, but you don't want to control the mind. You just want to say, hey, just focus on the breathing. Watch the breathing relax. What that does is that takes your mind off of, oh, I have an itch, I need to scratch that itch, or oh, I'm uncomfortable, let me move around a little bit. So that will get rid of that, the mind playing with you to turn around and to move things, because your mind wants you to move. And if you can keep the mind busy from moving, and then the mind it will stop thinking about the body and what's going on around you, and you will eventually, what will end up happening as you're sitting here just paying attention to your breathing, you'll get lost in that process. Something magical happens in that process. It may take you 15 minutes, it may take you an hour, it could take you 2 hours just to get into that place. But what happens in this process of this watching your breathing, eventually you stop paying attention to your mind, so your mind is no longer on your focus. You stop hearing everything that's going on around you. It's like everything gets blocked out and clarity comes in. And it's a complete silence that takes place when I'm in here. When I'm in this mode, it's just a complete silence. It's just very calm. It's quiet. And when I no longer see my breathing, paying attention to that breathing, feeling my breathing, and I don't feel anything else, that's when you start to see the images, or I start to see the images of what the spiritual world wants to see me. So it's in that moment that they lock on to me, and when they lock on to me, they start to show me things. They'll start to show me things that I need to work on. They'll start to give me messages about other people. It's in that space, that time. It could last for a minute, it could last for 30 minutes, hours, or not at all. It takes practice when you're doing this. And normally what I do is I will turn around and tell you to go through your meditation. Do it, 5 minutes, 15 minutes a day. Do it a couple times a day, 3 or 4 times a day. Do not expect anything out of it. Do not expect to see, to see the other side or to get spiritual messages. Just keep doing it over and over again. As you do it over and over again, eventually, over time, you're automatically going to connect. The question mark is, how long does it take? And I can't answer that question for you. And, this may not be, you may not have that clear connection through clairvoyance. And that's okay. Try a different method. This is what works for me. I'm just explaining how I connect via clairvoyance, how it works for me, what happens when I go through the process. And it's a very beautiful process, but it requires you to be very calm. It requires you to let go of everything that you're thinking about, letting go of your body, your mind, everything around you, in order to connect. And that's a very difficult thing for most of us to do. And that takes practice to learn how to let go of things. So this So I'll go back over once again. First, make sure you have a clear state of mind. No anger when you sit down to do this portion of the meditation. You want to be in a calm, peaceful state of mind. You don't want to have all the aggravation. So make sure you do not watch news. Make sure you don't watch a horror movie or a thriller. Make sure you don't get into an aggravating fight with your kids or your spouse or girlfriend, boyfriend. If you do, give it a few hours. Let yourself calm down. Don't immediately go, oh, well, I've set up a time that I have to go meditate. And if it's a good time or bad time, just give it a little bit of time and make sure that an hour before you go to meditate, you get yourself in a calm, peaceful situation where you start letting go of everything around you. Next thing is to turn around and make sure you get in a good, comfortable sitting position where you're comfortable, relaxed, your body feels well supported. This may take some practice to get in a good, comfortable sitting position. Try a few different positions for you. The trick is to make sure that your mind doesn't start paying more attention to your body when you're in a good sitting position, or that you do not fall asleep. Either one of those issues will not allow you to be in a good sitting position. The point is you want to forget about the body, but you need the body to be in a comfortable situation so that it's well relaxed, yet it will not kink up or fall asleep as far as your hands or your legs or any other part of the body. Next, you want to turn around, and once you're in that comfortable position, close your eyes. As you're closing your eyes, slowly raise your eyes towards the top of your head, putting pressure back on your pineal gland. Next, you want to turn around and focus in on your breathing. Just paying attention to your breathing, watching your breathing, letting your breathing know to relax, to go slower and calmer. You do not want to pay attention to what's going on in your mind. Let your mind go, let it be free. Let your body go. As you're watching your breathing, your body should get more and more relaxed, because you're going to let go of your body. You're going to stop paying attention to the body. And as you stop paying attention to the body's just going to naturally fall in a relaxing state. And that's what you want to do. When you start to connect to the other side, you will start to notice that you have no longer paid attention to your breathing. You have lost focus on every bit of noise going on around you. If you have a fan going, if you hear the bugs or the birds chirping outside, all those noises should fade away and just as if they're not even there. The next thing that you should start to happen after you've lost sight of your breathing, you no longer hear anything going on around you, you should start to have mental flashes or pictures being shown inside of your head, not coming from your mind, but just being shown inside of your head. And those pictures will be something either about you or a message that you're obtaining for someone else. Lastly, when I come out of the state, I just get up. I just stand up and I just start doing whatever I need to. Well, I hope this helps you if you're on the journey of trying to understand what it means to be clairvoyant. I hope it helps you connect to become more clairvoyant, to have clearer messages. If you have any further questions, feel free to ask. You can always send me an email